So now let's look at RxJS. So RxJS is really just a JavaScript library that you can use to create reactive programming. So if you want your code to be reactive, in this case, we want whenever there's an HTTP response, we want our code to react. So we want something to happen. Then you can use RxJS to make this happen or to code in a reactive way. So RxJS is really packaged with Angular. So whenever you create an Angular application, it comes by default with the RxJS library. That's how dependent Angular is on RxJS. The observable class that we've been using, it's coming from RxJS, like I just showed you in the import. For our data manipulation, we're going to be looking at some of the RxJS operators. So right now on the screen, I have some of the operators that are most relevant to the Angular application or to the Angular HTTP. So whenever you're going to be doing some data manipulation, mostly with Angular, that's not the only way to do this, but mostly with Angular, it's going to be with some HTTP response or some data stream or something. And some of the most common operators that you would use with RxJS and Angular are those that you're looking at your screen right now. So we're going to be looking at some of those because they're really, I really have to like make a course, especially on RxJS operators and observables and data stream and stuff. But because we have to do data manipulation, we really need to understand reactive programming a little bit and then understand how this whole thing works. So I'm going to be using maybe like a couple of those operators, but then I'm going to show you the website where you can go to explore more if you are really interested in understanding RxJS operators. But for what we're going to try to accomplish in this section, we're just going to look at 3 or 4 of those operators, and then I'll show you how you can manipulate the data in a reactive way, which means whenever the data comes back, so that you can change the data in whatever way that you want or however you want to display it to your users. So this is the RxJS website, and as you can see here, it says it's a library for composing a synchronous and event-based program by using observable sequences. So what this means is that we're going to create asynchronous code, which means code that's not going to block the execution of the program, and they're going to fire based on certain event. In our case, that's the HTTP response. Whenever we receive something, then something is going to happen or a reaction is going to happen because that's some kind of event. And what I want to show you on this website is the operators. So let's go and click on operators. And as you can see here, this is a very long list of different types of operators that we can use in our program. But you can go ahead and check this out. It's really a lot, so I can't really go over all of them. And we really would need to have like a separate course on RxJS so that I can show you what those can do and how powerful those things are. But we're going to use some of them, some of the operators, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to manipulate the data before we send it over to the component. So let's go ahead and go into code and start playing with those.